Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome into another episode of the lovely, wonderful, best, and greatest podcast here, BeBall Jones Podcast. That was a lot of episodes, but it's okay. We can roll with it. BeBall Podcast featuring the Defensive Player of the Year in the Peachfield Conference. Mr. Hanson, what's up, man?
What's going on, bro? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. Interested to get into this conversation you're about to have, man. We are reviewing the conference playoffs up to this point, man. So, it'll be interesting talk, man. So, we missed a little bit, podcast wise as far as covering each round. So, I'm interested to catch up on your thoughts about what's been going on.
Well, unfortunately, my boy got put on out of there, man. That hurt me more than anything, really. But they got put out of there by your guys, so But I couldn't be too upset. He still hooped. He still did his thing. Unfortunately, his second best player was hurt and put out. So Chris Middleton didn't play none of that series. And I think he kind of just put a little too much of a load on him. And, too much to ask. I mean, guys didn't step up with him in certain games. And, he was still able to take it to 7. So I think that was big. But, just as the Celtics end up being a little too much for them in the long run. So, and I still, I'm still proud of my guy, the way he played. He still showed a lot of heart.
Yeah.
And, but, they took us out. So that was my number one thing. But what about you?
Yeah, man, of course, I got to piggyback on that, man, because we did some damage. We had a hard-fought series against you guys, so I'm very pleased about that. And we're on our road to the finals, man. So that's probably hands down my biggest takeaway. But besides that, man, um, taking my Celtics hat off, I'm looking at the Suns, bro. Like CP3, that's probably the biggest takeaway for me, or the biggest thing to look at is how they failed to take care of business against the Mavs. So the way that CP3 just I don't even know what to say honestly, bro. He just did something at the game 2. I think that was I don't know. So
Man,
that was tough.
it was tough to watch. Just, I mean, I'm not to go on a tangent, but I'm one of those guys. Like, I feel like in sports, a lot of times things come to you that you deserve, and a lot of times, like, sometimes things come to you that you like. So I feel like things won't go your way if you don't deserve it. Sometimes, if you don't respect the game and play the way it's meant to be played, or do things the right way, I think a lot of times you won't get what you might want. Or like the things you're working towards, it won't come to you the way you think it should. And so Chris Paul, one of them guys, I feel like he deserved to win. He deserved to get to that next level of that upper echelon, of legends. But, he just can't get over the hump. And then this was one of them years. It was like, we just kind of, I feel like a lot of us figured they'll probably make another run at the finals and run it back, because they basically brought back the whole same team.
Mm-hmm.
But Chris just could not, like, you could see it, like, he could not get to that level again. And it was kind of hurtful. They kind of hurt me to watch. They let you know, like, man, our generation, like, as in me and you, like, our generation of basketball players, they slowly on the way out, man. It's kind of sad, like.
Yeah, because
But
on the other end of it too, Chris shouldn't have to do that. Like
that's kind of true too.
Book should have been stepping up. Man, I got you, bro. You got a bad game. Ain't nobody finna know about it. I got you, bro. I'm gonna put a 40 to make sure we win. And Aiden should have been like, both of y'all struggling, both of y'all can get off whatever. Cause Book was hurt a little bit, but no excuse. Aiden should have been like, bro, 30 and 20 in a dub. What's up? Taking care of business. That's not what happened, you know. So it's a little speculation and rumors behind Aiden's situation, which I ain't trying to get into right now. But it's regardless, bro. He didn't perform, you know. So um, I say it's less about Chris Paul, even though it's a lot on him. But at 36, 37, bro, we shouldn't be looking for you to be the number one guy. That's what we got to look at too, man. So With D-Book, man, I understand he was hurt, but I'm looking at you like, what's up, man? Like, Chris Paul should not have to be our best player. Same thing with LeBron. LeBron shouldn't have to be the Lakers' best player. It should be Anthony Davis. So, um, but still, man,
It's
like
bad.
Chris Paul was bad though. That's the thing that got. It
It,
wasn't like he was average. He was bad. Like what?
he didn't look like Chris Paul. He didn't look. He wasn't CP3. That boy name was Christopher.
Christopher Paul.
Christopher Paul.
Sir.
Like we couldn't give him none of that no more. It was like, man, he don't look good, bro. And like going back to kind of what I said a minute ago, like this might need to be an episode in itself. Now I think about it, but like our generation of hoopers, they slowly on the way out. We saw KD get swept. He ain't look good the whole series. You know, he had his moments, but he ain't look good the whole series. Got swept by the young boys, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. Then, you know, Bron ain't make the playoffs. He still hooped this season, but they ain't make the playoffs. Russell Westbrook ain't make the playoffs with him. Doggone,
Melo fading out. Okay.
huh?
Melo, he fading out. He ain't really Melo.
Melo fading out, and then you know you got CP3 fading out. You know, like the superstars of our time slowly like trickling out of the star category. You know what I'm saying? Like they're still, you know, they still stars, but you can see them like moving out. There's new guys like on the block.
Yeah.
Luka took out Chris Paul. Jason Tatum took out KD. It's like, man, it's tough. And then, you know, Ja was going head up with Steph Curry, and then he got hurt. So, you know, ain't no telling how that would have went. But if Ja Morant and the Grizzlies, oh my goodness, if the Grizzlies would have took out the Warriors, that would have solidified it in my mind. Like the young boys are taking over. Like it's not our league anymore. The young boys is going crazy. So Ja was going head up with Steph Curry. And so it just was crazy, man. And you know, Giannis still young himself, but like it just was crazy how the younger players. I think that's another big takeaway out of this playoffs. Young players are here. They're not coming no more. They're not coming up. They're not on the rise. They have risen. They are here.
Yeah.
Luka, JT, Ja Morant, Book, like them guys, they here now. Like they are the stars now. It's going to be their lead. And you know, Trae Young had his time last year. They didn't really get nowhere this year, but last year he made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Had his time. You know what I'm saying? Like the young boys, they the guys now. Just being real.
Yeah, it's an interesting look at it, man. Like you said, the stars still like they're still here, but they're not the center. They're up there. They're like on the other end coming down now. So there's a descent. They're up there, and now we're starting to peek at them coming back down off that cliff. Like not individual as players, but the whole group now is kind of getting out there. And James Harden too. Like he ain't James Harden no more, man.
I meant to say him too. James Harden didn't look good.
About 2 years ago, he was still James Harden. You know, he was arguably MVP talks because the hamstring still bothered him a little bit. But like the first year in Brooklyn and back, James Harden. Oh man, James Harden was crazy. But last year and this year, it's like I don't know, bro. Like it's tough to see, man. So yeah, that probably be a whole episode by itself, man. Because we can go on and on about that. But
True.
yeah, man. So one person that I do have to talk about. I know he got put out, but Jimmy G buckets. Oh my goodness.
Man. Hooper. Like
Certified.
real playoff superstar.
Yeah.
Like playoff superstar. This man, Jimmy Butler, had 0 40-point games this season. This playoffs, in the 3 rounds that he played in, had, I think it was 5 40-point games. It had 35 in game 7 when they got put out by the Celtics. So, like, you telling me this man went an entire season, because Jimmy wasn't an all-star, I don't think. Like,
I don't think so.
Yeah, he wasn't in the all-star game. Actually, I think he was supposed to be in it, but he was hurt, actually, now that I think about it. Because I know he didn't play in it, but I think he was supposed to be in it. But I ain't, whatever. But this man was not even really being considered top 10 in the league, if we being real.
Yeah.
During the regular season. And it's because during the regular season, guys, you see it every week. Guys have 40-point games, 50-point games, and occasional maybe 60 ball. Like, guys have moments when they get hot, go on streaks. You know, we see Trae Young go crazy every now and then. Jason Tatum gonna give you 50 every now and then. Bron still go crazy. KD, Kyrie. Guys go crazy on the regular, but not Jimmy Butler.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy is like quiet. You know, he just do what he do. I feel like he good as long as they win. He just do what he do.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, they second seed in the East. No, first seed. Number one seed.
Yeah, first. Yeah.
Number one seed in the East. Then get in the playoffs, take his game to a whole nother level. It's crazy. Like, it's really amazing to me that this man can take his game that far up. Because he go from being like regular star to superstar in the playoffs. Because a lot of times you see like guys like Bron and KD and them take their play up a level in the playoffs. But we expect that from them because they're that upper echelon of player.
Mm-hmm.
Like Bron, KD, Steph, you know, they all-time greats. But then we look at Jimmy Butler, like he's a good player. He's a star. He's a good player. Now he's a superstar. It's crazy. Like the level his game jumped is crazy. I'm amazed.
Man, I want to say I'm not amazed by it, but it's special to watch. I say because it's not necessarily a surprise because I always knew Jimmy was great. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't always showing it, and I feel like what you just said about him is his greatest strength and his greatest weakness. As long as we win, I'm cool. But with that mindset, he plays too much team ball sometimes. That is very. Game 7 is a perfect example of it. So Game 6 came out 40 ball, punching us in the mouth, went crazy. Game 1 came out 40 ball, punches in the mouth. We can do nothing. We couldn't touch Jimmy. Like it was whatever you want, bruh, you got it because we can't stop him. But as you see, he had ebbs and flows. And Game 7 is a perfect example of that, to where we came out the aggressor, punched him in the mouth. He could handle us. They fought back a little bit, but whatever. We still had a 20-point run. Jimmy said, it's enough of that. I think I'll take over the game now. And he did. He almost won that game by himself. Like, honestly, he almost won that game by himself. And that boy was special, man. Like, he took over that game. He was, if he beat us, that's what I was rooting for. If he beat the Celtics in Game 7, I was rooting for Jimmy to finally get a ring. Because I was one of the people who was saying that I don't know if he can be a number one guy and to a championship team. And he made me look real foolish saying that. And I have no problem coming on here and saying that because that man balled out. But he hits pockets where he gets very comfortable being a role player or fitting within the team, which is cool. You know what I mean? Like you want your star players to be able to take a seat back and say, team ball's going well, we're winning, cool, whatever. But there are times when obviously the Heat is struggling. Obviously they need a bucket. Why aren't you taking over right now? Like, come on, bro. We on a 0-10 run. Like, who else gonna get a bucket? You. That's it. Like, that's all we have to go to. Hero's cool, whatever. Bam's cool, but no, Jimmy, it's your team. Like, take over. And he doesn't do that sometimes, and that hurts the Heat more than it helps them. And so he has to find that balance of the takeover versus team ball. And he hasn't found it, and that's his greatest strength and weakness because the Heat are a great team. I feel like, in my opinion, the Heat had one of the deepest teams in the league, arguably. Like, I think, in my opinion, they were up there. So
they had the 6th man of the year, so that's valid.
Yeah. So, and then you think about the Morris twin, he wasn't playing. Like they had some depth bench. Like Victor Oladipo was an all-star not too long ago before he got hurt. So they had a deep team, and Kyle Lowry's playing, and they ended up picking some undrafted or lower drafted guys that's been balling out for him. Duncan Robinson wasn't playing a lot for the playoffs. And Hero wasn't playing for a minute, and it's like we're still winning without a 6th man of the year and one of the greatest shooters in the game. Yeah, you got some depth to your team. Like, yeah, that's respectable. But there are times when Jimmy should have took over and been the guy. I don't care how deep your team is, bro. This is my team. I run this right now. He didn't do that enough. So that's his greatest strength and weakness, to where team ball, great, running it. But right now you need to take over. He didn't do that sometimes, and that hurts him. But when he takes over, bro, it's there were times when he goes toe to toe for LeBron. That lets you know how good he is.
They was comparing him to LeBron in Game 6. because the way Game 6 went with LeBron against Boston. Uh, dang,
12.
10 years ago.
That's wild, bro.
Boy, we getting old, bro. We're getting old. LeBron was doing that 10 years ago.
Good grief.
Bro, let me tell you, 'cause just now when I was trying to remember, I said they was comparing him to LeBron, and I was thinking like how long ago it was, and I was like, that was about 2012. It's 2022. I was like, dang, that's 10 years ago. LeBron was winning the championship with Miami 10 years ago. That just seems so like, bro, that's crazy to think about. I don't mean to get off topic, but dang,
Yeah.
we are old, bro. Like what?
That's funny.
Whew. But anyway, yeah, Jimmy definitely showed a lot this playoffs. He did the same thing in the bubble in 2020. And then, people start kind of discrediting the bubble or whatever. So I think it didn't last long like it should have. And then last year they got put out by Milwaukee, who ended up winning the championship. So that's not horrible. You know what I'm saying? Like they lost to the best player and the eventual champions. So that's can't be mad at that.
Yeah.
But then this year he came right back, showed us it all again why he's still that guy, or like with a reliable number one guy. He can be your number one guy, and you can win. And so, all respect to Jimmy, man.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
we gotta talk about it now. Now that it's over, like since we on the topic of Jimmy buckets and the Heat.
Yep.
The last shot he took in Game 7. Hopefully we can put the clip up in somewhere. The last shot he took in Game 7 against Boston was about 17, 16 seconds left. Pulls up for the 3 in transition.
Mm-hmm.
Did you or did you not like the decision that he made?
So I'll take you through my thought process of the play. Okay.
I'm ready. Here I go. I'm ready.
So I'm watching, of course, as a Celtics fan, obviously.
Okay.
So we missed the shot. I think that was the third 3 Marcus Smart missed. I was
something like that.
Heated. I was heated. If that was the play, I was heated about that. So I was like, man, what are we doing? That's terrible. Jimmy gets the ball, comes down in transition, whatever. I see Al Horford, somebody else. I think Jaylen Brown's at the top of the key with him. So I was like, Al backing up. Cool. First thing we're gonna do is stop the paint because Jimmy 9 times 10 driving's right there. Then outside at some point, Jimmy, I don't know what I felt, but I just felt Jimmy finna pull it. I felt it. So I was like, either finna pull it or you gonna hezzy. And so once he got like a couple steps past half court, he pulled it. I need Al Horford to come to get a hand in space. And then once he did it, it felt good. I was like, this open.
Man.
So that was my thought process. Now, on the more objective end, was it a bad shot? I cannot say it was a bad shot. I can't. Every inch of me I just can't agree that it's a bad shot, because for one, and like he airballed it, he just missed crazy. He just missed the shot. It was a cool miss. And then 2, he hit a couple threes in the game. He hit a transition 3 in the first half. I remember, I think him close to ending the second half. The second quarter. I think he hit one of those. So, ain't like Jimmy can't shoot, and like he can't hit one of those. He's been shooting fairly well the past 2 games. He's pretty decent. So, if I'm a Heat fan, I don't love it.
I don't love it. I don't love
a better shot, But
Yeah.
I understand he had Al Horford on the back pedal. It was a pretty wide open, uncontested shot, so I'm not mad about it. But could he ever got a better shot? Yeah, but in that situation, would you rather put it in the ref's hands and attack the rim? Iffy, because a lot of calls that night were really terrible. Like they're both ways. There's really iffy both ways, and they're kind of inconsistent. So it wasn't a bad shot, but was there a better shot? Yes, I will say that. So Celtics fan, I was terrified for a second. I was like, boy, we finna don't do it to us, Jimmy. He missed it. Yes. As a Heat fan, I'm like, oh man. So
Man,
But now being neutral, looking at either side, once again, I feel like overall, not a bad shot, but he could have got a better shot. So
I feel it.
that's kind of where I come to it, man. I just feel like he just missed a shot, honestly, man. Because if he made the shot, nobody would have been like, "Oh, this is a terrible shot." Yeah, let's look at it a little more objectively. You missed a shot, so of course it's going to be a bad shot. So I just feel like could have got a better shot. So yeah, not a bad one at all. I ain't mad about it. So what you think?
So this is my thing. Hey, me and my assistant coach have been going back and forth with this because he a Jason Tatum guy. So we watching the games closely and we text back and forth during the game and stuff. So this is my thing. Jimmy Butler in game 7 was the only player who had it going. Jimmy and Bam Adebayo both combined for like 60 points. The two of them. Jimmy had 35 and Bam had like 25. I can't remember exactly what Bam had. But for the majority of the game, they were the only two that had it going. And Bam ain't no jump shooter, obviously. Bam finishing around the rim. He, making good plays and stuff. But, he finishing. But Bam and Jimmy, the only two getting good shots, making buckets. Everybody else kind of struggling. And so, for a while in the stretch of the fourth quarter, I could tell Jimmy was probably tired because he kind of got uninvolved in the offense. You could see him kind of like hang back or stand in the corner, and Victor Oladipo tried to score a couple plays. And to which I said, who does Victor Oladipo think he is? Like, what are you doing? Like, don't get me wrong. All respect to Victor Oladipo. All respect to Victor Oladipo. I know he's a good player. I know he's been a star caliber player already. But this is not your team, and you are not in Indiana. All right, you coming off injury. You're not who you once was right now. Like do I feel like you get back to that level? Of course, but right now you have not played like that all season to be the one trying to get clutch buckets. So I was like, Vic, like, why is Vic taking all these shots right now? Like, I don't like it. And he didn't have it going. Like I said, nobody really got it going. He was struggling all game. So then, Jimmy kind of uninvolved. Then out of nowhere, Heat make a run. Like, Celtics been up double digits or 8+ points almost the whole game. Then all of a sudden, the Heat make a run. And so, Celtics turn it over like 2 times in a row. And then they capitalized. Marcus Smart missed a 3. They capitalized. Jaylen Brown drove in for a tough layup. Might have been a call. Might have been a foul call. Might have been not, but they didn't call a foul. And I think that's the play Jimmy got the ball. Come down to transition. They're down 2. So let me take you through my thought process as the player. All right, because I'm a player. Like, I could tell probably what Jimmy was thinking. Same thing with you, kind of. Horford backing up. He backpedaling. So he on his heels. As Jimmy coming down, Al back up almost to the free throw line. He's backing up the whole time. So he got plenty of space for this 3. So I felt like he was going to pull it too. So when Jimmy pulled up, I was like, oh my God. Like, I just knew it was good. It looked good the whole way. Then it was a little short and missed. So they had to foul. So the first thing my assistant coach tells me, why would Jimmy? I don't think he should have took that shot. You got to ride with him because he's your guy. He's your number one guy. But I don't think he should have took that shot. He already was gassed. You could tell he was tired, whatever. He hung back and then plays, standing in the corner. He wasn't trying to get involved. So he was tired. So that's why the shot was short. He should not have took it. My thing was, number one, he's your guy. He's your number one guy, as we stated. Best player on your team. Number 2, he the only one got it going. The only one. Like, nobody else is, like, getting buckets but Jimmy. And number 3, he was open. He had the space. He, like, Al backed up. This is a shot he can make. It ain't like he took a Dame Lillard sidestep from dang near half court. He took a pull-up 3 in transition. And it's just a little short. I'm living with that. I'm living with that every time from him. If Bam Adebayo take that, I'm like, hey, Bam, Like, what are you doing? Like, shoot, really, really, if anybody else that was in the game right there take that shot, I'm kind of questioning it. But Jimmy, you got it going. You got 35. You're shooting 60% from the field. Take the shot, Jimmy. If you whatever, I not even take the shot. Whatever decision you decide to make, I live with.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so that was my whole thing. And guys on social media and stuff killing them. Like, why would Jimmy take that shot? That's a horrible last second shot. They had time to do something better, have a better shot. My thing is, number one, you got to get up a shot that with enough time to give you a chance at an offensive rebound. And then even if you don't get the offensive rebound, you got to foul. So you got to shoot with ball. You got to shoot the ball with time left. He shot with about 16 seconds left. That's nothing wrong with that. I don't see nothing wrong with the time he took. He was like, oh, but he could have got a better shot. What much better shot could he get? The only better shot they probably gonna get was ISO for him. To be real, if we being real, if he didn't take that shot and they came down set up offense, what was they gonna run in 16 seconds? They finna everybody get out the way. Jimmy got the ball, go to work. Like, you feel me? Kobe Bryant, clear out. Or you maybe a pick and roll with him and Bam or something, but like, to be real, it really gonna be like Jimmy go to work. That was gonna be the play.
Mm-hmm.
And so he took a shot in transition with space. And like you said, it's one of them things, if you hit it, they love you. If you miss it, they hate you. And so that's why I'm good with it. Like, just like I'm good with whatever decision he made. He the only one got it going, and he the best player. Like, let him make the decision. And now, I mean, he took a shot he can make. So I'm good with that every time.
Yeah, that's one of those situations where hindsight is 2020. So of course on the back end, it's easy to be like, oh, that's a bad shot. But if you hit it, everybody that said it's a bad shot would have shut up and praised how great that man played. Exactly. Every single one of them, bro. Like, nobody being like, oh, that's a bad shot. Everybody be like, oh, Jimmy Butler's so crazy. This is a miracle run. Jimmy Butler has a historic run. It's great. All this stuff. We have been kissing that man's hand as he went on to the finals. He would have got the Larry Bird Award and whatever the other Eastern Conference award is, the Bob Cousy Award, I think it is. And a great run by Jimmy, great game by Jimmy. The Heat's been playing amazing. That would have been a storyline. So if that would have been a storyline from a make, it ain't like you said, the Dame Lillard shot would have been like, oh, that's a bad shot. No, that's a bad shot for you, bro. Paul George, you shouldn't take that shot. But Dame, do your thing. For Jimmy, do your thing. Take that shot. Like you said, if Bam would have took that shot, bro, what? Go home. Like, that ain't your game, bro.
Man.
So taking that from Jimmy, man, I would have lived and died by that decision. So it's a tough call, man. I'm not gonna say it's an easy call, but at the end of the day, bro, if I'm the coach, I'm right on what you say, man. In 16 seconds, like honestly, if everybody tell me that's a bad shot, what would have been a better shot for you? What would have been the perfect ideal shot? The only thing I can think about is a mid-range shot, but that would have tied the game. And you think about it, you gas too, so you're thinking, man, win the game, bro. I don't know how much I got for overtime.
That's another thing too. Like, he probably was thinking that, and he said in the interview afterwards, like, I was thinking, go for the win. My teammates would like the shot, and so I live with it. That's what he said in the interview. And so I'm pretty sure he was probably thinking that too. Like, man, I don't know how much I got for this overtime. I'd have played all 48 minutes, all 48. Like, that's tough. And then in the game before, he only sat for 2 minutes. He played 46 minutes in game 6. So he just is, it's one of them things, man.
Yeah, that's a lot, man. So the only thing I think is it's a midi. That's the only thing I could see, but it more than likely would have been a contested midi because Al Horford was in the paint, bro. He was backing up pretty far. So
exactly.
It's only so much you could add from in that situation, man. So take a wide open contested three that he's hit before in the game. He's been hitting threes his game, so it's not a bad shot. It's wide open. Another reason why it's not a bad shot. Like, what more can you add from at that point, man? Like, the only thing I can say is hit the shot, but he didn't. So, hey, live and die by it, man. But salute to him, bro. Like, if I'm telling you, bro, if he hit that shot and went on, bro, I would have been mad for a minute. I would have been crying for a minute. But hey, salute to you, bro. You've been killing all postseason, man. So overruled for him to go in, man. But I think that I think him, the Celtics and the Warriors are like the top three storylines of this whole postseason. I think the
True.
Grizzlies are up there a little bit, but I think Jimmy superseded that since Ja got hurt, and Jimmy went like ridiculous too. So I think Jimmy's probably like the third storyline you have to look at from this whole playoff run.
Facts. Those are definitely the biggest stories. Warriors bounce back. Steph Curry and the Warriors return. Clay, Jordan Poole, big storyline there. Celtics beating the best players, like you said, took down KD, took down Giannis, and then just beat Jimmy Butler, who was going crazy, and the number one seed Heat. So now they got, but that's so it's like regardless of who you say the best player in the world is, like unless you say it's LeBron still, which those are there's still people out there that say, but most people right now say either Kevin Durant or Giannis Antetokounmpo is the best player in the world. They beat both of them,
Mm-hmm.
swept KD, and then beat Giannis at 7, and then beat the number one seed. So they beat the 1 and 2 best players in the league and the number one seed in their conference and they playoff run. Historical, like
Yeah.
don't care how you put it, amazing, historical. And then they go to the finals, and then you got Jimmy who turned into a superstar for 3 rounds. And
Yep.
was looking like Braun for a while, especially in Game 6. Game 6, Braun against Boston
Mm-hmm.
10 years ago. So it just yeah, those are definitely the biggest storylines. I would say the next biggest storyline probably would be Luka.
Oh yeah.
Like Luka,
Yeah.
how crazy Luka was going, and the story really became Luka going crazy. Can anybody help him? That became the story. Can anybody help Luka, please?
I think it
So
bothered me saying that he didn't have any help when he does. His help just wasn't there. Like same thing for Jimmy. I'm glad nobody said Jimmy Butler didn't have help because
nah, Jimmy had help.
he obviously does, and or did since they lost. But Luka has help. Like Jalen Brunson can play. Like Mr. Dinwiddie can play. Now
Thanks.
Dinwiddie barely showed up in the playoffs. He showed up maybe 2 games in a whole playoff run, maybe three. Um, so that hurt. Brunson started off like the first 2 games they played, Luka wasn't there. Like Jalen Brunson had 51 of those games. Like, come on, bro. Like he's not a bad player. He was easily the second best player and the second highest scorer. So like, come on, bro. Like you can't have no help. You can't go from a 50 ball to no help. Like those two don't add
That's
up
true.
for me. So I feel like they trying to discredit once again. I think it's people who don't know the game and not really watching the game that are talking too much on the game. Oh, Luka don't have any help. Come on, bro. Dude can play. Like you disrespecting players right now. I don't like that. But Luka is the thing that does hurt Luka. Um, he doesn't utilize himself as much sometimes. I feel like
Mm.
he's in that LeBron, and James Harden, very similar in this extent to where when it's them and things are going their way, it's great. When you remove them, the team crumbles. That's the issue all three have. When LeBron James go to any team, that team looks amazing. And when LeBron ball's going, LeBron ball looks amazing. But you remove LeBron from that team, or LeBron's not in that play, they don't look as good. Any team he's been on, it's always look bad. Besides the Heat, um, even with the Cavs, you have Kyrie. It's basically gonna be ISO ball with him, and Kevin Love might do his thing from time to time. So you move LeBron off of any of those teams, they don't look as good. They crumble. So you need LeBron to be that main piece. James Harden. Um, Most of those Rockets teams, they were okay when he went off the floor, but they weren't up there as the Rockets because it's James Harden and the Rockets. They had great 3-point shooting and stuff, but the threes ain't falling. Now what's up? You ain't looking too good.
Hmm.
And that's exactly what happened with Luka. If the threes ain't falling for the Mavs, they don't look as good. Now we gotta play Luka ball. Luka struggling, he ain't looking too good for the Mavs. And so that's what happened. Was it game 6? I think they were struggling a little bit, and then Luka just went stupid. Oh my goodness, he hit 2 threes, 2 step back threes. They're just pop, 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 step back, pop, 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 other side, step back. I was like, oh my goodness. He saw through it up, pick and roll. Dude slipped it, hit him with the pass. I was like, Luka magic. That's all I can say, man. That boy was
Luka
crazy.
Magic.
And like he really almost willed them to win that game, man. So but Luke, they have to find out how to balance Luka with another piece that he can play with and complements him. But Luka
Yeah.
has that disease of
The
I don't even know what to call it yet, but like it's LeBron, him, and James Harden that had that issue of like there's too much of them, and when you take them out, everything kind of crumbles. So you have to figure out how to build around him to where it can work out.
call it King's disease. Like Nas album.
Yeah.
King's disease. If the king there is all good. But when he ain't, oof. This is a good team. This team we won championship with.
In the playoffs? Ah, I don't know about that one.
This is number one seed. But nah, Luka definitely, did everything he could. I feel like his best compliment would be getting him a good solid big. Like a solid big, protect the paint, score around the rim, everything that he need. Because they had no paint presence. None.
Oh no.
Dwight Powell, none. Nah. That's why they relying so much on threes. They got no paint presence. The guards can get a bucket. Spencer Dinwiddie, Jalen Brunson, they can get a bucket. But like they depended so much on threes, it's almost 4 out 1 in offense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, or they'll set a screen, try to get a good matchup for whatever. Like try to get Luka the matchup that he likes, stuff like that. But like what the Warriors did, they would hard hedge so that they could keep whoever they wanted on him, and they had Andrew Wiggins on him, I think.
Yeah.
So they would hard hedge. So if the screen came, they'll hedge him, make sure he stayed on one side of the floor, and then Wiggins would stay on him, or whoever was guarding him. And then the guard that whoever just set that screen, after they hard hedge, they just get back to their man, rotate out. Like they ain't care. He ain't finna pass the ball from this far away. So it like that forced them almost to be like, well, 4 out 1 in, try to work something out, or set a good on ball screen and actually roll, and I can try to hit you on the roll instead of trying to just get a matchup so I can ISO. So it forced them to play a little more like out of their element, I think. And so, like you said, when LeBron ball is going, when Luka ball going, it look good. But when it ain't, it ain't. And then there was games where like guys on their team going 0 for 6 from 3 and like 1 for 5, 1 for 4. So now it's like, just let Luka shoot the ball every time.
Yeah.
That's really what it came down to sometimes. If you was watching them and like watching unbiased, you almost was thinking like, man, just let Luka shoot every time. Whatever shot Luka get is the shot we want. Because y'all not giving nothing.
Yeah.
But I definitely think they could be great. Like they could take the game to the next level, being like a finals contender if they go get a big. I don't know what big's on the market right now or in free agency, but if I'm in their front office, that's what I'm looking at first.
Yeah. Only tough part about that is once again, Luka has to figure out how to either share the ball enough but still be effective off ball, or get enough pieces or another piece around him that can play and complement him. Somebody that can play on and off ball, something like a Devin Booker almost. I know Devin Booker's not going there, but Devin Booker can play very well on and off the ball and complement that. So Luka off the floor, all right, cool. Let me work. I got you. Luka on the floor, all right, cool. I can play off the ball and play with him too. But it's really up to Luka to figure out how to balance, like tip the scales to where I can be great on the ball and still be effective and impactful off the ball. You don't have to sit up here and be, Klay Thompson or off screen. I ain't saying all that, but like be something off the ball too. Because if not, you just sit on the side, sit in the corner, sit on the wing. I'm gonna just drop off you because I know you ain't going nowhere. I'm going Luka, bro. I'm going Luka. Y'all got whoever. I ain't gotta do nothing over here. Like you want to be that type of guy because you like Luka's a non-factor on defense, bro. He's a non-factor. It's multiple levels too because first off, he don't even give you full effort.
Yeah, you can tell he kind of old laying guy, but he just kind of man, it's bad.
And then number two, when he do give effort, it's still nothing. It's like it's not even whatever. Pop out and value. Get out my way. Like so
he just don't have that lateral quickness,
at all, man. But it's crazy too that Luka has an issue playing team ball, seeing how it came from the Europe system when they're
True.
predominantly team ball. I was thinking about that one. I'm just like, that's so odd for him to have to deal with that, but it's weird, man. But they have to figure out some type of balance with Luka and J. Kidd got to start calling plays and figure out something else besides Luka. Can't call Luka the whole time, but
And run that Luka.
what you want, Luka? All right, run that. All right, cool, we got you.
Nah, yeah, you're right though. They should need to, add a couple pieces. A Rudy Gobert or like a DeAndre Ayton type of player will like help them tremendously, and I think that take them to the next level. But all in all, man, I think this playoffs has been very enjoyable to say the least. It's been kind of weird
Yeah.
with some of the things that went on, like some I don't know, some out of the ordinary things, like how the Celtics and the Heat kept going trading blowouts. Game one, Heat blow out the Celtics at home, and then Celtics blow them out on the road, like blow them out in Miami. Like it's weird. Then Miami go to Boston, blow them out. It's like what's happening? It was weird. And then the Suns, like you said, they blew a 2-0 lead. You kind of thought they just had the Mavericks, and they blew a 2-0 lead and lost in the 7th. And then there was another thing, and then the Nets getting swept and stuff like that. A lot of out of the ordinary things happened, but still was very good basketball. I will say that I enjoyed the basketball. Maybe I'm just a basketball fan, but clearly. But still, all in all, very enjoyable playoffs overall. And I'm really looking forward to the finals matchup that we got. They two opposite play styles, so it's just been real cool to see how everybody. Another thing that stood out to me was coaching. Coaching kind of stood out to me this year with the Celtics, how they coaching. How Udoka has been a great first year coach. I like the adjustments they made. I think the Heat made a lot of good adjustments too. I think the coach of the Grizzlies did really well. A lot of stuff like that. So that's another thing that stood out to me. Very, very enjoyable basketball to watch, to say the least.
Yeah. I hate to follow what you just said with this, because this is almost the exact opposite. But 76ers, man.
Doc. Doc, why, Doc? Why it had to be you?
I hate it for him, man, because we gotta. I don't want to go out like that, man. But it's about that time we got to call for you, brother. Hey,
man, I hate it, but but me and you talked about this off stage. I say off stage, off camera.
Yeah.
Doc, like it can't be all on him because Embiid got hurt, missed a few games, and came back. But in the time that Embiid got hurt, James Harden was not the James Harden that we knew. And we said that a few minutes ago. But the thing about it, it's one thing for him not to be the James Harden of old, like the Houston Rockets James Harden scoring 50, 60, whatever. It's one thing for him not to be that. But for this man to be out there, and Tyrese Maxey was the 76ers best player, there's something wrong with that. Joel Embiid didn't play, and you got James Harden still on the floor. And Tyrese Maxey is the best player on the floor. I just can't accept that. If I'm Doc, and I told you this, I said if I'm Doc, I'm calling him into the office. Like, James, what's wrong? Is everything okay? And God forbid that boy say, yeah, everything's fine. Something better be wrong. Because if I say James was wrong, what's the issue? And he's like, no, nothing, bro. Everything's fine. Because then I'm going to get hot. Why are you not hooping then, James? You out there getting 16. Tyrese Maxey has 34. Don't get me wrong. I love Tyrese. That's my guy. This is his second year in the league. But you are James Harden.
Yep.
And Tyrese Maxey is my best player. I'm finna call plays for Tyrese. Like, what we doing? What we talking about? So I'm going to ask you again. I'm going to ask you again, James. Is everything okay? What's wrong? Is everything fine? Like, well, I promise you, if I'm Doc, I'm not letting it slide. Because, like, Doc, no, bro. They going to blame him. after the Clippers, ever since the Clippers blew that 3-1 lead, and that stat came out said he done blew more 3-1 leads than any other head coach. The eyeglass been on Doc. Like they've been watching. Like they waiting on him to mess up. And the Sixers go out there and do that. They do that. It just looked so bad. It looked bad, bro. Like, and then they blaming him. And so if I'm Doc, I can't let it slide. But I hate it for Doc. That at the same time, you know.
Yeah. That's funny, man. Cause same thing, bro. I'm like Joel out. All right, cool. What's up, James? What's up? Like, it's obviously it's pecking orders. Okay, best player is out. Second best player, you step up. Tyrese Maxey, third best player, you step up. Tobias Harris, fourth best player, you step up. All right, cool. That's just the pecking order. That's domino effect. But why does third domino become the second domino? Time out. Hold on, bro. That ain't the domino shouldn't change orders for a game. Maybe Tyrese Maxey should be the best player for the third game 3. All right, cool. But out of a 7-game series, 6-game series, Tyrese Maxey should not be my best player most of those games. No, like we said, no offense to him. There's no reason why a former MVP, a former 40, basically average 40 for most of the season type of guy, a former 6 man of the year, is not taking over the series right now. My best player being out. You asked to leave Brooklyn to come here. You give me that? Bro, what's up? Like, what's up? I'm heated.
I promise you I'm heated. And then they got the media after the game when they got after they got eliminated. The media asking Doc crazy questions. And you could tell he's sick of it. They really, like, bro, they disrespecting him at this point. Just being real, they disrespect. They're like, you worry about your job security. Bro, like, bro, I don't care, bro. I did my job. Doc got that kind of attitude. I did my job. All right.
Oh, yeah.
He said, man, I just think Miami was the better team. All that. Like, they cracking down on Doc. And, like, I feel bad. Because, for a long, long time, Doc had everybody respect. That 2008 championship with the Celtics, they went to the finals 2 years in a row, lost to the Lakers that next year. But he got him a ring in 2008. But that's been a long time ago. Like, a long time. And none of the players that was on that team that you won that championship with still play, except Rajon Rondo. And nobody else that was on that team is still in the league. So, like, that shows you how long ago it was. And so, that didn't wore off. Like, now it's like, okay, Doc's still a good coach. I feel like they feel like he's still a good coach, but he just ain't made over the hump in a long time. Because he had the Clippers. We forget he had the Clippers in Showtime in the Lob City era, when they had Blake, Chris Paul, and DeAndre Jordan all in their prime. Good team. Jamal Crawford, Matt Barnes, JJ Redick, great team. But they never got over the hump. Never even went to the Western Conference Finals. So now it's like, the Clippers getting clipped. The Clippers are cursed. I feel like they kind of threw it on the Clippers as a team organization. But then when you got Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, now it's like, okay, championship or bust. Got to win it all. Like, you got 2 top 10 players on your team. Got to win it all. And then they dropped that 3-1 lead. Now it's like, then, like I said, their stock went down there, boy. I'm telling you, when they dropped that, and that stat came out. That was the worst thing ever happened to Doc. When that stat came out, it said Doc Rivers has blew more 3-1 leads than any other head coach in NBA history. The media had a field day with that one, boy. Because nobody knew that. But yes.
Y'all keep pointing at 3-1 leads, but if y'all think about it, most of these teams I took weren't even playoff worthy. Like,
they weren't supposed to be in that position.
Yeah, like if you look at the old Magic teams that he had, like that was the first team he had. The Magic teams weren't that good. I coached him into that position. You can give me
my boy threw the whole team under the bus.
Hey.
They say they won't kill me.
But he was speaking facts though. Like, honestly, you can't. They were an 8 seed. He said they were 7th or 8 seed, and we came out and did what we had to do. We weren't supposed to win that, bro. But look at us now. We were up 3-1 against a 1-2 seed. give me more credit than hate for that, bro. Like he was like, if y'all gonna tell the story to the whole story. I took a bad team to the playoffs. The team to the playoffs to be up 3-1 against a winning team. Come on, bro, give me credit for that. The Clipper team, all right, I'll take credit for that one. You know, we had a couple teams we had fun with the ball. And he was like that with injuries, that in the third or whatever. Joel was hurt this year. He's like, come on, bro. He's like, if you're gonna tell the story, tell the whole story. Tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. And y'all ain't doing it. And that's what pissed him off. And I was like,
I feel it.
I got you, bro.
I feel
But,
it.
but, facts are facts. Stats are stats.
Man, those are yours.
You know, once again, I'm rooting for you, bro. I'm Celtics fan. So that 08 championship, I'm still here. I'm
Oh yeah, it meant a lot to me too. I was a KG fan. KG was one of my favorite players ever. Like I love KG when he was playing, and that Celtics championship meant something to me. But boy, that's been a long time. B, no, how old I was when they won that championship. B, 8. I was 8. I graduated college last month. Just to put it into perspective.
Yeah.
When they won that championship, when Doc Rivers won his last championship, I was 8 years old. I am a now college graduate. I'm a 5th-year senior in college. Like it's time. It's time to run out. You know, you can't ride it no more. You had, and it ain't. And the thing is, it'd be one thing if he'd been coaching the Phoenix Suns this whole time. That'd be different. Because you know they ain't always been good. They're not a good team. They are now, but they haven't always been.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be different if he's coaching the Minnesota Timberwolves. But he done had championship contending level talent. Like I said, Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan. Paul George, Kawhi Leonard. Like, then now James Harden and Joel Embiid.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you done had the talent, bro. And I get it, Embiid got hurt this year. You know, that's one thing. But you done had talent. And, like, only people who saw it with their own eyes will be able to look at it and be like, oh, this is not Doc's fault, or like Doc only deserve a little bit of the blame. Only people who saw it with their own eyes can really say that.
Mm-hmm.
But in the future, when the people, like when we not really remembering what happened this year, we just know who won the championship and who didn't and who got put out by who, and we just looking at the numbers, we gonna say, hey, Doc, you had James Harden and Joel Embiid, what happened?
Mm-hmm.
Doc, you had Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, what happened? Doc, you had Chris Paul and Blake Griffin, what happened? It's just bad for my boy. So I hate it for him. I really do.
That's a tough one to swallow, man. But yeah, you got to. You feel me? So I just feel like I won't say his time is up in Philly, but the time is ticking. He getting a little warm.
He on the clock.
The microwave, beep 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 beep. It's starting. All right, it's starting to get a little warm now. But
you on the clock.
I feel like I heard a conspiracy theory that they want to get a coach that James Harden personally likes and knows. So that's a little added, fuel to the fire of Doc Rivers being up out of there. How true that is, I can't say, but let's look at this. James Rivers. James Harden came there. Look at who is the president / GM. Daryl Morey.
The same coach that, same GM that had him in Houston.
Exactly. So now, what's the only piece missing of that trifecta of Houston people? You got the player, you got the president GM. Mike D'Antoni ain't there, is he?
Mm-hmm.
So there's something off right there,
One of these things doesn't belong here.
So I'm just saying, man. I've heard that rumor going around. So I'm not saying he's out of there, but I'm just saying the microwave. You press 30 seconds and we press start. It ain't hot yet, but as time goes on, that microwave gets a little bit warmer. That seat gonna get a little bit warmer. So I'm not saying he's out of there. I'm not saying he's staying. The microwave is on. That's all I'll say. But and that's it for me, man. As we review the conference playoffs up to this point, man. So anything else you got?
Bucks will be back in it next year. Bucks will be back in it next year. But nah, that's it for me, man. So I guess that'll do it for another episode of the BeBall Jones podcast, man. We appreciate y'all for listening. Make sure to like and subscribe and comment down below. Let us know what you think about the playoffs so far. Let us know what you think about our opinions. Do you think we wrong? Do you think we hard on Doc? Do you think we hard on some players? Whatever. Let us know your opinions. And be sure to follow Brian on all social media at BeBall Jones. That's BeBall Jones on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Also, be sure to follow the podcast TikTok at BeBall Jones Podcast. And we got some videos up already on there. Be sure to follow us and like those up for us. We appreciate that. Be sure to follow me on all social media at NellyH34 on Twitter, at Nelson.Haskman on IG, Nelson Haskman on Facebook. We like to keep the conversation going on social media, So, get on there. Let us know what y'all think. Let us know if you agree, what you think about some of the things we had to say. But with all that being said, man, that does it for another episode. We hope y'all enjoyed it. Appreciate y'all for listening. And without further ado, man, we out.